Welcome to RPG TV. I am RPG, and of course, we got the co-host with us.
Bandikoot Rex.
Miss Rosie, hey.
Y'all know what it is, man. We about to give y'all another lovely episode. So tune in with us. We better get off into this thing. First and foremost, what's that topic that you guys were looking at?
Well, I wanted to touch on the BRICS currency. For those of you that are not very familiar with what's going on in the world, because a lot of us, aren't that interested in that kind of thing. But I thought this would be a good subject for us to touch on, so we can all just, be aware. We want to touch the people. So BRICS is basically a currency that could pose a threat to the U.S. dollar. So that's what we're talking about. Are you guys familiar with BRICS? Have you heard about this movement?
I just googled it. It's a union between Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South
India,
Africa.
okay.
That's my goodness. Time out. That's major. Like
That's very major.
Between India and China, they got like 1/3 of the world's population.
And I learned that whoever controls I think it's like Afghanistan, the Afghanistan area. They call it like the Eagle's Head or something like that in the military. Are you familiar with that?
I ain't never heard Eagles Head, but I got you.
Something like that. I'm not that familiar, but I heard a little bit about it. But they say whoever like owns that part of the world is like who is in control of the world.
Yeah, it's kind of like they say it's like the gate to the world. Like certain places
Yeah.
in the Middle East. Like I know for a long time, I want to say it may have been like Egypt. Whoever controlled Egypt kind
Right,
of got
they're
the
in
gateway
that.
to Europe, Africa, and West Asia or the Middle East kind of. So yeah, certain countries in the Middle East, if you have control over you almost control the ports to the major.
Okay.
Like I said, the Europe, Africa, as well as Asia. So yeah. But,
Okay, and what are we? Oh, and before you give us some more facts, I also wanted to mention before I forget the biggest thing going on with this whole BRICS thing right now is that France, our biggest ally, the U.S. biggest ally, France has jumped in and joined this BRICS movement. So I just thought that was something.
So what?
But is they all white bricks though?
All white bricks. Well, I think they gold and silver,
gold.
actually.
I'm reading this right here. It said, what will this mean for me? If you're a BRICS national, having a foreign currency reserve might help stabilize your economy. This, in turn, encourages trade, tourism, and often means lower unemployment. Stability typically comes with steady exchange rates, making traveling abroad or even buying a home overseas easier to budget for. When the Brazilian real declined in the early 2015, a home worth $200,000 would quickly have gone down to $166,000. Steady rates usually safeguard against sharp devaluations, so you can feel more secure in your purchase. Okay. So it's to help people have money in other countries, essentially.
Well, what they're trying to do is take away the value of the dollar. That's their
That's
overall.
gonna happen anyway. Like the way that America's going after what was it? What was the major event? The value of the dollar is going away anyway.
Right. It really pretty much doesn't have any.
Yeah.
It says here. It says the U.S. dollar is fiat money,
Fiat currency. Yeah.
unbacked by any physical asset.
Right, because if you look at any dollar bill, it says legal tender. It used to say backed by gold because dollar bills used to be just a receipt to say, here, I have tangible gold in my account, tangible, some sort of mineral wealth.
Right.
And you would, that currency was a receipt to say that I have tangible resources. But now it says legal tender, which means it is actually what it's supposed to be worth. But wealth in America is debt is wealth. Yeah. So
Right.
if you owe me 1,000, I'm worth 1,000. Whereas the dollar itself, it like I said, if any nation sprang up in the world and decided to back their dollar or whatever their currency is by some sort of mineral wealth, that would completely collapse every other type of currency because most currencies aren't backed by anything.
Yeah.
All right, and so that's
especially Western countries.
Are you familiar with fractional banking? Is that what it's called?
I'm not sure.
It's when banks can loan out more money than they actually have.
Yeah, because it's all debt. It's. I don't want to spread any misinformation, but yeah, it's all debt. I forget how it goes. It's like you owe me 10, or you give me 10 to borrow, and I give that to lend to somebody else, but they owe me 10, and it's like a weird cycle. I forget how it goes, but is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. Cause I remember like when was it Woodrow Wilson when they stopped backing the currency with gold, and he gave the Rockefellers the right to print money.
Yeah, it was a centralized bank that took control of the Department of Treasuries because they begin to we lend the Federal Reserve, or they lend us money. Mm-hmm. So our money isn't created by our Department of Treasury. It's lent from the central banking system and shit,
which
like
is
that.
A private bank.
And if any of our viewers, have information on knowledge about this topic, feel free to, drop us with some gems in the comments because we're still learning and we want to help people. So
BRICS is interesting. Honestly, I'm at this moment not worried about it. As long as the petrodollar.
So explain what is a petrodollar? Tell me what that is, because I have heard about, I've read up on it, but I don't quite understand what that means.
Oil is traded in American dollars.
Okay. It's so basically the American dollar is backed by the petro.
In a sense. Yeah, because everybody's using it to, negotiate and trade and buy oil. So that's why, the dollar hasn't failed yet. But I mean,
I think was it China and Russia? I think they were threatening to utilize different currency. I may be wrong. I want to say it was China and Russia because they're the two nations that are always kind of outside of doing things outside of the norm, or going right. I may be wrong.
Threatening evil and shit. We're bombing you niggas.
I may be wrong.
Well, there's definitely a lot going on in the world, and I'm definitely trying to learn more and more about it, so we can talk about it. And BRICS is just one of those subjects that I'm still learning about. All white bricks.
So my thing is, when it comes to currency, at the end of the day, nothing's ever gonna beat like gold and silver, material, like things that are worth, regardless of what the dollar might be. A pound of gold is still a pound of gold.
Oh yeah, that's different because that's actual. If you invest in gold, it will always have some sort of value, based on it always has value.
Yeah, because precious metals, they use precious metals to make things. Like silver, I didn't know is like what is the main thing for like solar power. That's not a fact, guys, because I'm still learning. However, it's something like that, though. Seriously, like the precious metals, they are used, in certain things that we may not be familiar with because we're not, making all these things. But that might be a topic, that we can look into. So what these precious metals are used for.
In the immediate term, regardless of what BRICS is doing, the dollar doing, any cryptocurrency, regardless of all of those. Actually, I didn't mean to say cryptocurrency. We can talk about that some other time. But focus on having skills that are valuable. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, money gonna come and go, but you can never take away a skill from somebody. And that's why all of us all have trades that we've learned. Like he's a very skilled cabinet maker and carpenter. I'm just a carpenter. She a carpenter and kind of a handy woman, low key, but
and a hairstylist and a nail tech, and I can do your skin and you teach your kids.
Oh, you do all the skin stuff
I
too?
grow garden. I'm very valuable out here in the streets.
No, not in the streets.
We want everybody to be just as valuable, so we can all come together collectively.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Work together to build and grow. our communities. So that's what we.
I just want to go into this next thing. I ain't going to cut you off.
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's keep going.
I have to talk about this because it's so funny. I don't know what happened, but Rick Ross offered Don Lemon a job at one of his wing stops.
You need a job, Ernie?
This is one of it's kind of dope at the same time and funny.
And
it's like
insulting. Like, how you go from being an anchor on a news show?
Why did he lose his job?
Being
can
I get what's his wing place called?
Wingstop.
So Wingstop. So how you go from being on Fox News to going how can I help you today? What kind of chicken? What do you want? The 30 piece, the 20 piece, the 15 piece?
I think that's disrespectful.
With that damn uniform on.
Yeah, with the fucking stupid hat.
Green ass shit.
Is that disrespect? Is that shade? I feel like it is.
Shade. If I'm a news anchor and I go to serving you fries and chicken, how do you do that? I went from making hundreds of thousands a year to literally
fried chicken.
20,000 a year.
Why Ross offered this man a job at Wingstop?
Come on, dude. I want to know what the story behind it. What's the beef here?
I don't know
what
if they
is
got
it
beef,
really?
But Don Lemon, they said CNN let him go on Monday saying that the two had parted ways. So that was their way of saying we tired of your ass. We trying to get some new booty in here.
We sick of your black ass. We sick of your black ass tirades.
Don Lemon, hey bro, I'm pretty sure he can get a job somewhere else. It ain't. You was a major
But is he
anchor.
blackballed?
He's definitely black. Not sure if he got balls.
And the nigga is bald. He's black.
Is looking to recruit Don Lemon for Wingstop. Really?
What would you do if Rick Ross offered you a job at Wingstop? Would you go there with your mixtape?
Listen here.
I'll be in that bitch.
I'm not gonna comment because I'm gonna be quiet because I don't want Rick Ross coming for my head.
What is he gonna do to us?
You know what? Fuck that. I want him to come for my head, nigga. Blow this podcast.
Right. Appreciate you.
Please cuss me out, nigga.
So that's like 50 Cent. He got that kind of mindset. I remember I seen
any publicity is good publicity.
That is true. That is true.
He dissed like Chameleonaire like on purpose or some shit. And a comedian kind of like uptight about it. And, like talked to him. They said me bumps. Like he was like, yo, what's up? Why you yeah? And 50 was putting him on game. He was like, bro, if you would have did something right now on a random bus in India or something like that, it'd be a news article saying how Chameleonaire and 50. He said some, yeah, there you go.
You gotta be a little bit smarter than
that. Big ass damn teeth. Beaver mouth motherfucker. I gotta stop cussing. Lord help me, please. Anyways, what y'all got next? I'm gonna go ahead and leave Ricky Rose, and Don Lemon alone.
Rosie.
Don Lemon definitely got a fire ass name. I don't know. Don Lemon sounds like a pretty cool name. Like Lenny Kravitz.
It sounds like a refreshing drink.
It does sound like a drink.
Don Lemon. It's the most lemoniest shit you'll ever have.
Pick him up at Wingstop.
Yeah, get you some Don Lemon at the Wingstop, nigga.
I know we're pretty heavy on trans, but I just had to read this article that came out yesterday. Trans athlete running as a female in London Marathon. Labeled wrong and unfair.
What y'all think, man?
I'm actually surprised. I have to know who said something because I'm surprised that there was pushback. I'm not surprised, but I am surprised.
I think ever since what's her name, Riley Gaines has stepped up to the plate and has really put her foot on the trans community, specifically trans men's neck about joining and being partaking in women's sports. There has been a lot of pushback from women, which I think is a good thing because they just can't compete with a biological man.
That's some bullshit.
So yeah, I think they're on the right track with that. Mind you, I don't have anything against trans. Do what you do, but I think that's pushing it.
It's a disadvantage.
When you start to get into women's athletic fields and completely dominated, and you couldn't do the same thing on the other end, with men, then it's it's not a good look.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they should just have their own little section,
Yeah, just a
just
trans.
kind of like the special needs group.
Call it the others.
No, I'm being serious.
No, I'm not hating.
That's just like okay because special needs they want to be in sports and carrying on. You know what I mean? But you're not gonna go put a person in a wheelchair up against a person with fully functioning legs and tell them to race each other. Like they need to have their own special lane. Compete against each other. Like have your own special trans Olympics or whatever it is.
Trans Olympics.
I like
That would be tight.
Trans Olympics.
Kind of like.
That's very transparent of you.
You feel me?
All these trans.
It's kind of
puns.
like those trans dress. What is that called?
Transformers.
Shows. You know those shows.
Transformers.
You know how they have those shows.
Yeah.
They put on a whole performance.
Oh, like
Trans-
drag.
Thank you.
Okay.
Drag shows. They have their own little lane.
What is the difference between drag queens and trans? Like, ain't that the
That's a question for the people.
That is a question for them. Help us out.
Yeah, a lot of drag queens do the same thing that trans do, but they just don't consider themselves.
Still have their dick.
I mean, yeah, I guess some maybe some drag queens
some trans
don't
still have
Trans
feel.
people don't have the
that's true.
transition to actually
That's true.
transition.
That's
So
true.
what is the difference?
I think drag is just a way of like titling a costume look.
Yeah, I guess it's what they identify.
Because I know one of my loctician friends who I love so much. Shout out to Terry Baptiste. I'm gonna shout him out because he does his thing. But when I wear like my wigs and things like that, he always says that I'm in drag. He'd be like, "You look good in your drag, queen." So I think it's like a costume.
Okay.
So that drag queens don't always walk around in drag.
I don't
They
think
put it
so.
out.
Whereas trans, I think they're committed to.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that as being a slight difference.
I can see that too, but I just feel like they need to have their own little.
So trans people need their own
little lane.
What's the word I'm looking for? It's not category in sports, but they need their own.
Category in sports.
Category in sports. They need trans Olympics. I'm up for trans Olympics.
Yeah, I mean that's only fair. Put all the trans people together and compete.
That makes sense.
See who's the strongest
I
and
really
the
want.
fastest.
I gotta ask a trans person about this. I need to ask a trans person's opinion about trans competing against other trans.
All right,
I think it's fair.
I identify what right now.
I think it's
I'm
fair.
just fucking around.
Man, what you got next, bro?
Hey, but did y'all see what Bud Light did? How they recanted on their campaign with the Dylan Mulvaney and the trans community because they were getting so much backlash from straight Americans. So they came out with this regular, wholesome American kind of commercial.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
that.
because they were, their executive. She was saying that they're tired of the whole frat style, so they were going with the trans thing, but they got so much backlash that they popped out with like an old country time commercial to say, hey, we still want our core audience, but that's what you get for going woke, motherfucker. Like going woke, you go broke.
There's another article. I was trying to leave this alone, but there's another article about this trans marathon runner. They said he competed as a man earlier that month, or months earlier. Glenique Frank, a 52-year-old male athlete who now identifies as female, finished in 6,160th. Time out.
Hold on, wait a minute. He said he finished what?
Out of 20,000 entrants, he only placed 6,000.
And this is in the women's?
In the women's.
This
So what was he getting
sucked
in the
as
men's?
a man and as a woman.
Right.
This nigga is just a bad human being. He's a fucking mediocre human being altogether. Nigga, you suck as a man and a woman.
Dang.
Here's my thing. If he's not blowing them all out, no pun intended, like he still lost to 6,000 women.
Yes, that's a sucky fucking man.
Now, if he got first, then I don't know. Because he's like in the middle, fuck it. Who cares?
Right.
I just had to read that.
That
right
motherfucker
quick.
thought. I'm gonna tell you what he thought. He thought that he was gonna go transition as a woman and just dominate, but he sucks for real. Like he sucks.
What's the old girl, the swimmer?
Riley Gaines.
Riley Gaines. She tied with
With
trans.
with Thomas, Leah Thomas.
That's the name of it.
Yeah, Leah Thomas.
I didn't mean to say it. Forgive me, anybody who's listening to that.
No, that's a fucking him. He done some foul shit. No, Leah Thomas has done some foul shit. So we gonna call him a him because that motherfucker he got off. What I don't wanna misrepresent
Google
the
this
situation,
shit.
but he did some foul shit. I think I saw it on the what is that girl's podcast? The Unapologetic podcast. She kind of showed
Pearl?
some stuff. No, not Pearl. Amalek Apanopi. I can't remember her name.
That's a strange name.
She's on shit, I forgot her name. But yeah, she's unapologetic. She has a real good podcast on YouTube.
Oh, Leah Thomas is facing a $2 million lawsuit.
Yeah.
Filed by Riley Gaines. Oh, snap.
What was it?
9 hours ago. Let me click this shit. Dang, Riley Gaines suing, bruh. Trans, bruh. Trans, bruh. I didn't realize. Okay.
I've got trans in my pants.
I don't know how to take that.
Leah Thomas faces a $2 million lawsuit filed by Riley Gaines. All other female swimmers should sue Leah Thomas for not only cheating but for exposing his private parts.
There we go. That's what
to
they
the
were talking
women
about.
in changing rooms, as reported by them.
Here's my
What?
penis.
You're not even trans.
Here's my
You still got a
penis.
dick? Okay,
Here's
listen.
my dick, people.
You gotta chop the dick off.
Yeah, bro.
You gotta chop the dick off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, how do you call yourself? That's what I'm saying. How do you call yourself trans? The word trans actually means to switch over or to convert.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, trans. Like transmit means to pass over.
Or
It's some sort
transport
of
means to
passing.
go get groceries.
Yeah, it's to pass through, pass over in some way. But
So this
yeah.
motherfucker still got a ding-a-lang competing with women.
Oh,
So he still got testosterone pumping through his blood and still tied. Oh, bitch ass nigga. Let me stop. Lord forgive me, please.
No, fuck that shit.
I'm just talking shit. I'm not really that kind of person.
Well, strike that nigga down for showing his them women.
So he's being sued for exposing his nuts. Listen, I'm sorry, trans people. You can't be in a women's changing room talking about you're a woman with dick and balls. That is just not what a woman is. A woman does not have dick and balls. I'm sorry. Chop it off. Then we can talk. Until then, sit your ass in the men's locker room.
Yeah,
That's right.
I guess you know what? If you chop it off, much respect.
I can't help but respect that shit.
Much respect to you.
But see, so remember I was telling y'all I have a friend who's trans, which I'm gonna probably call him later on and ask him some questions. But they was explaining what, a lot of people identify as trans, but they never make the transition,
Right.
Because there's so much. A lot of people go through that transition and realize that their life they made a bad decision, essentially. So a lot of them are actually really hesitant to get that. Time out. Fuck all that. Time out. When people talk about trans, it seems like we're typically always talking about dudes wanting to be women.
Y'all notice that? Y'all notice that? You don't hear trans men coming out and trying to compete with biological.
That's a
men.
fucking fact.
You don't hear,
Trans women.
You don't hear about
trans women is a man.
You don't hear
Yeah.
trans men going into men's bathroom facilities because
They pussy lips hanging out.
intrinsically they know that it's like,
With
look,
their jock strap
as much
on.
as women, this is where women are way more logical than men because you could be a trans man and they still understand like look, I could never really be. Well, maybe I'm thinking about what they call them, studs and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
But they don't.
You're right.
They don't try to, they don't overdo it like trans women do, i.e. men.
Good point.
I never thought about that. I'm waiting to see if there's a trans man that tries to make that transition, but see what I did there? Transition? No, anyways, all right. I'm done with trans. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just gotta go on
I'm
something
sick of
else.
trans. Let's transform this.
Let's
conversation.
transmute our energy.
Ooh. I hear that. Okay. Kentucky announces resignation. I'm just kidding. I'm not reading that shit. Big words. Who's got something new?
All right, so I'm just gonna ask you guys, what do you think the formula for happiness is?
Me. Have me in your life, you'll be happy. Me, honestly, personally,
Okay.
because I'm not like everybody else, and I feel like a lot of people's happiness really comes down to their belief system at the end of the day, because your belief system should produce a certain type of mindset in you. You know what I mean? The problem is we got a bunch of people who claim that they believe something or that they live by something when they don't actually. You know what I mean? So when, like Jesus said, when the winds come and the waters blow, the house fell. You know what I'm saying? Because they weren't built on no solid ground. They ain't had no foundation for real. So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people just be claiming shit.
Right, and some people say the cucumber tastes better pickled.
Pickle, stupid ass. Cucumber tastes
And
better
I like
pickled.
pickles, and I like cucumbers and vinegar. So
All right,
I'm
so
not gonna like
your
cucumbers and
question.
vinegar.
Your question was, what was your question again?
my question is, what do you think the formula for happiness is? And the reason why I ask that is just because it seems like every day I go out, just doing my daily thing, it seems like I encounter more and more miserable people.
Ooh. Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
I think it's
I don't
because
know if
we
it's
stepped
just
away
me.
from tradition. We stepped away from something that works to try to find out something new that's untested, and we finding out that what we have been spoon fed to believe is happiness and that does work is just a theory and it's not tested. It had not stood the test of time. Whereas the things that are traditional, we know that it may not be the most sexiest and most desirable thing, but it did stand the test of time. It does work. Why not just go back to that?
Okay,
I
so
think
you
people
think
are
tradition.
People are adopting these new ideas, and
But
they
ain't
don't
tested.
realize that humans have a nature to them, and that nature doesn't always change. And if you've already had a formula that works, you're trying to twist things so that you, because you think something is better fit or it'll make you happy, based on these new modern technology and modern ideas, but it hasn't stood the test of time. We are test driving a new vehicle with a lot of these new ideas, and as you can see, they don't work. That's why we got to step back into tradition. It may not be fun, it may not be sexy, but it works.
I like that. Tradition. What about you? Give me a word.
Jesus.
Oh, I like
Hallelujah.
that. I like that.
I mean, let me say this. Let me be more accurate because
Okay.
I know plenty of church people
Yeah.
who them same people you talk about.
Right.
But that goes back to what I was
Thank
saying
you.
earlier about you got a lot of people talking that shit, but they're not walking it. Like they're not really surrendering their life to Jesus. You know what I'm saying? For real. They still got their ego and their own ways of wanting to live their life. But then they'll go to church on Sunday. They might even pay their tithes. But they're not actually committing themselves to the Lord. Like, we used to get on my mama all the time about this. You know what I'm saying? One of the fruits of the spirit is self-control, right? Which this is something I check myself with every day because my
Now
kids will make me
explain
snap.
to us, what is fruit of spirit?
So in the book of Galatians, it gives the fruit of people who are filled with the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
Right? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control. I think it's actually 9. I only named 7. But anyways, self-control is one of the main ones that I was, for this point that I'm trying to make is, a lot of times you'll see people who got a couple of those things, maybe even a few.
Right.
Hell, maybe even 5 of them. But you will never really see the full engulfment of all the fruit of the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? People going to be lacking in a couple areas. Like me, right now, I said self-control because while I got self-control, at the same time, I don't got that motherfucker.
I feel that. And speaking of self-control, we all know my situation and the trouble that I've caused, and I guess self-control. I guess it could be due to lack of self-control. And it's crazy because I like to think myself to be somebody who is very self-governing, self-aware, and has a lot of control over the decisions I make. But sometimes those decisions, that temporary satisfaction or whatever could lead you to you don't know the damage that you cause other people when you lack self-control.
Ooh, speak on that. Speak on that, brother.
And I ain't gonna lie, you know, I've definitely transgressed, and I've hurt some feelings, I've shattered some hearts, and I've found myself being disgusted with myself because I put myself in a situation where, you know, and I'm to protect the you know, the people that are these individuals, especially the one that's closest, you know, close to me and shit like that, like to protect them and their identity. I'm gonna refrain from saying names and even going into the details,
Of course.
Yeah, you don't realize that you become disgusted with yourself because you put yourself in a situation and now you are in a dilemma in which you don't even want to fess up and be honest to make a decision, and I know it sounds bad to even have to decide between
sounds honest.
people. It's fucked up to say that, but I gotta say it because this is my life. I've transgressed, and like I said, you don't know the damage that you do to people in the because people's feelings get involved, man. And when people's feelings get involved, you take it lightly because you don't feel it, but then when you start to see and things just collapse in front of you,
right?
And you stand there having to make a decision, and all you want to do is run or get away from this or disappear because you don't want to deal with it. That's you got to be aware of the decisions that you make, man. And self-governance and self-control is really a key aspect to making sure you don't get yourself in a fucking quagmire, because I've really put myself in a bad situation. And to those parties, you know what I'm saying, I have to... Sorry don't even fucking cut it at this point, man. I've said sorry 1,000 times, man. So I don't even think sorry cuts it, but... Yeah, maybe when all this shit roll over, I'll explain. And this is one of the reasons that the podcast suffered for about a week or two, because I've been out here being a goddamn ass. Yeah, dick discipline, man. You gotta exercise discipline, bro.
Hashtag the fuck out of that. Dick discipline. Oh my God.
Oh, dick discipline. That's a big one.
Yo,
my son, who's in Colorado, who I'm very proud of, he is a mentor for men that are released from the prisons and need to be rehabbed and transition back into.
All right, what's your oldest son's name?
Little Cuz.
Shout out Little Cuz.
Little Cuz. He out there in Colorado. But me and him had a conversation the other day, and dick discipline was actually one of the topics that he teaches. He's learning.
Y'all actually said dick discipline.
Dick discipline is actually what he said.
I ain't never heard that a day in my life, so he just said it.
Yep, dick discipline. And, you know, my son is practicing that. You know, he hasn't been having sex for a certain amount of time. And he's just, like he said, you know, having more self-control, being more aware of, you know, how his actions
because
affect others.
Your choices definitely do affect other people. And the whole thing about dick discipline, I understand as men, you know, we want to fuck.
I can't lie, guys. I thought about it the other day. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I want to say this before I forget. I imagine I had to close my eyes and put myself in a man's position, right? Because us women, we don't quite get it, you know? And so I had to take myself and put myself, and I transformed, guys, because I do this sometimes mentally. I imagine my feet, I ain't gonna go into too much detail, but I imagine my female organs transformed into a man's, right? So ladies, just stick with me here, okay? Take your clitoris and grow that motherfucker to about 6 or 7 inches, ladies. Let's go there, okay? And just imagine. If our shit was about 6, 7 inches long, we was just walk around that motherfucker swinging. Ladies, we want it sucked, touched, played with, pumped. We would. So, because I had to think, because I struggle with this. I really, really struggle. Like, why is it so hard for men, you know, and I'm in a relationship with somebody, and I tell you what, he got dick discipline to a certain extent, you know, and I ain't gonna go into too much detail, but I imagine myself as a man.
I mean,
and then all the sensitivity, if it's what I imagine it to be, if it's like what I just described, I could see how that could be hard for y'all.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit more than just imagining, because you got to remember we deal with certain hormones, like
right.
You guys
hormones.
have
I want to get into
estrogen,
that.
right? And estrogen is the leading hormone to all of your secondary sexual characteristics.
In men and women?
No, mostly women.
Okay.
Estrogen. So it allows you to think a certain way, to function a certain way, whereas testosterone is the hormone that's primary in men, and it allows us to think and function a certain way, and this is why we're completely different.
Right.
Imagine, it's really hard to, but you know, men go through their lives not, you know, and this is something that the guys at the barbershop we was talking about today. Imagine going through life not knowing your value, not knowing not knowing when a girl likes you, why they like you. As a woman, I would imagine, you know, beauty. You can chuck it up to you being beautiful, things like that. There's some attributes that are understood that women know, and this is why I think women walk around, I'm a bad bitch, because they get that attention on a daily basis. Whereas men, it's just kind of like, okay, this girl likes me. It's and I'm not trying to make an excuse, but when you get attention from a woman, and you're not used to that as a man, you how do you say no? We haven't been trained, or
That's right.
We didn't grow up with the ability to say no, because all we ever heard when we tried to approach is no. So when a woman actually takes a liking into you, this is where that dick discipline is very difficult to have it, because, like I said, you don't know when the next time you're going to get some. You don't know when the next time a girl's going to like you, because guys walk around every day and have no fucking clue, unless they're a man who's just on their purpose and out here trying to make money. The average guy has no fucking clue about whether a woman is attracted to him, why he can or can't get a woman. You know, it's a difficult existence for the average guy. Now I can say I've lucked up and I've been graced with looks. Girls find me attractive. So and I'm not, you know, I'm not tall. I'm not tall and shit like that, but I'm in shape. And I'm fairly decent to look at.
Said, I'm not tall.
Well, and that's funny. That's funny because
that's what women,
you know, tall, dark, and handsome.
Man, women always say stuff, but what they do be on some other shit.
Yeah.
Let me say this real quick though. And then, were you done?
Yeah.
I want to say this because you were talking about how men, you know, they never have to say no. But let me tell you something. Being a man and telling a woman no fucks up their brain. Like they not. Like women are used to like, okay, right. I want some dick. Let me go out. Let me look at somebody to hit up. And then when they hear it, no, they be like, what? What you mean? Are you gay?
Yeah.
You gay? You don't want no pussy?
No pussy.
Right. That's I've been hit with that shit before. You know what I'm saying? Because in my situation, you know, I've denied. I would say that I resisted, you know, for a good bit, you know, and. Maybe this person wasn't used to that, but you know, I still caved later, and you know.
I mean, you're gonna get this for so long.
I'm just not proud of the moves that I made, man. Because, like I said, only a man can understand my fuck up. In the sense of, like, there's no rhyme or reason to the shit. There's no rhyme or there's no like, why did you do it? Because it's not a because you did this thing. It's a little bit more to it. it could be some contributing factors to your relationship, but I would say the average dude is just like if he steps out, it didn't have nothing to do with his girl. Right. And I'm not talking about my situation or nothing, but the average guy is just like, yo, she likes me, shit.
Right.
And if he has the opportunity, he'll take it. But it's a lot of things that you got to calculate before you take that risk. You know, because some guys just jump at that opportunity because they don't know when an opportunity is going to present itself again. And they're one and done it. And sometimes that's usually fine. If it's a one and done, you never see her again, that's fine. But it becomes a problem when you start, you start liking the girl start when the catching feelings. You know, that's where things get fucked up. And if you are one of those guys that ladies, this is when your man is cheating on you with an ugly bitch, don't go and the bitch is ugly. Thank him because he ain't gonna get attached to that bitch. If she's beautiful or cute or whatever, that's a problem. That fucks up everything when they cute. Don't step out at all. But who the fuck am I to say?
I was told that if I am gonna cheat, she better be fine. Cause she was like, if you cheat on me and this with some bum, basic looking regular girl, I'm gonna be pissed because I'm gonna feel disrespected that you went down. I'm like, in my head, I'm saying the same thing you saying. Yeah. I'm like, that don't make sense.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to
make that mistake. I might fall in love with that motherfucker.
Yeah, because beauty is one of those things, but it's very tricky because I could smash a 5 and it'd be like, all right, man, beat it. Get the fuck out of here. I came. Go away. It's like this will never go any further. But when they're cute and then they got personality and shit, you be like, fuck, I'm playing with fire.
Let me say this. I want to jump off what you're saying, but it's gonna slightly start going to a slightly different direction. So I'm not above no laws or any expectations of any sorts. I've been a man. I just turned 33 last Thursday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, nigga.
Them place in this thing. Yeah. But I mean, I done lived, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I done had my experiences. Yeah. I had what some people call my whole years. Right. You know what I'm saying? It happened after I got divorced. Men don't have whole years. Man, prior to that, I ain't trying to throw no numbers out there, but let me just say I was in the single digits. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And now I'm probably above my age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So freaking
and that shit add up quick. Right. You better slow your roll.
Couple one nighters here, couple one nighters there, couple little relationships, entanglements. Right. Entanglements. But what I wanted to talk about was we talk about like them beautiful people, and like I had the one time in my life I had what I would consider the most perfect woman I've ever desired in my life. Yeah. Like when she was like everything, at least physically speaking, from top to bottom I've ever wanted to exist in a woman. Right. You know what I'm saying?
What happened?
Dick discipline. You know what I'm saying? I went to god dang on doing my thing and she was doing her thing before I realized that we was in that thing. You know what I'm saying? Things was everywhere. In other words, because you said something earlier that triggered this thought in my head, like them bonds started growing to a depth that I had never experienced in my life. Yeah. And like it was so weird because we were so like drawn to each other, like this magnetism where we couldn't resist each other. Like we had this stupid ass toxic cycle of fighting, talking till we got tired of talking, eating, then fucking.
And breaking up with each other often. And
I never break up with this motherfucker a day in my life. I would have never done that.
Here's the crazy thing about all this. And like I said, I'm not trying to attribute everything to my situation, but you get into these little debacles, these entanglements, whatever you want to fucking cheating. Mm-hmm. That's what stepping out. Stepping out. You begin to like this other person, but you forget about that person at home that's right. That's been down for you and shit that. And Yeah.
And what also happens is because, okay, that person that been down with you and is there for you, most of the time y'all have history together. You know, you've been through the good, the bad, the ugly. You've seen the ups and downs and the ins and the outs. And then when you got that new person, though, you haven't seen all the ugly. All you seeing right now is the good.
Yeah.
And really all they're going to show you right now is the good. So you're definitely going to be enthralled and drawn in and like, oh, God, this is the best thing that ever happened. You don't really get to see that other side until you really already in it.
And I think that's
happened to me before.
That happens to all of our dumbasses.
That's the issue with like when you when that person that's at home that's been holding you down and he or she discovers that you not only fucked around but y'all started liking each other.
Right. That hurts.
That fucking hurts.
My dick made me do it.
My clit made me do it.
Hey, for real, my personal opinion, I don't know. I can't really say 100%, but I'll say this. Men might be more likely to cheat.
Okay.
But I feel like women don't get no like free pass because like a woman can.
We don't get no free pass.
Hold on,
What does that mean?
Let him
a guy has to
understand.
try
Okay.
and find somebody to throw that dick up in.
Really?
Yeah.
A woman low key can just be like, "Who I want to call today."
Yeah, it's
Okay,
easier.
so let me
it's
speak on that,
easier
guys.
for women to-
Let me
it's
speak on
easier
that
for
because
women
y'all
to cheat.
think that. I've experienced this.
Oh,
Boy.
so
Y'all
you
look
did-
at me
That's
and y'all
what
think
you
what
said.
y'all think. Y'all can just call up. Hey, can I just call you up, Reginald, and get some of that?
I mean, you know in town.
So please, let's not do that, okay? Because us women, beautiful and all, and have all these great things going on, we do struggle sometimes. I went through a period where I wasn't having sex.
Y'all want.
No, let me tell y'all my
listen,
story.
listen.
I went through a moment where I was abstinent from sex. It probably was about 2 years. I was kind of traumatized behind some stuff, so I stayed away from it. I didn't date. I didn't talk to nobody. I just stayed to myself. But after I got over whatever was traumatizing, right now I'm out of the trauma stage. Okay, I'm healed. Okay, and now what's up? I'm talking about it. I could have paid, so I could have offered to pay somebody because this is the fear. This is what I experience. Okay, I got people that I know, that are friends that you might be able to call and smash or whatever you want to say. You got your Rolodex. You know who you can call. So anyway, but it's something about if a woman says, "Well, you know what? I haven't had sex in 2 years."
Oh my God.
What's up with that dick? Listen, everybody gonna be looking at you like, bitch, what's wrong? You haven't had sex in 2 years. I ain't about to be your first candidate. It's happened to me.
Damn.
Well, when you come off like that, that type of rhetoric, as a guy, you're not really used to hearing a woman talk like that, and it's like she got to be bullshitting. Like because I'm like, somebody came at me like that, and I was just like, whatever. Nigga.
Right.
Anybody
dead ass
just
serious.
talking shit.
I
you
hear
know
them.
what I'm saying? So you assume that they just yakking because women don't normally talk like that. So when you find out that they serious, it's like, oh, okay. It takes you, you get taken aback, because it's just rare for women.
And
to
then,
talk like that.
go
Let me
ahead.
say this. With men, here's where women have a power over men that lesser intelligent men don't realize that women have. Right? Men like to feel like they're in control of a situation. You know what I'm saying? When
Okay,
really they're just
okay.
it's like a animal walking into a trap. You know what I'm saying? They thinking they did this and this, but really all they doing is taking all the bait. You know what I'm saying? Like they like to for a woman to be like, "Hey, I'm trying to smash my nigga." It's like it's like, "Whoa, what the fuck is going on?" Like their head get fucked up.
We not offered
Right.
that. We not offered that like that.
We used to chasing it. You know what I'm saying? We used to
Yeah,
hunt.
y'all apparently
I'm not
prefer
gonna say
that.
we sit there and like the chase, but it's just what we do. It's what we're used to. But nah, when you got a girl at home, nigga, I ain't trying to chase some fucking steak that I already got, bitch. Come on.
Oh my God.
Bullshit. I'm just saying, like a new girl, you're just not used to her offering some shit. You're used to having to pursue. It's strange when you just a dude and you minding your fucking business, and girls like, yo, You know,
Yeah, and
shit
don't
like-
get me wrong. These were not random people I was calling them. These are people that I'm very, very close to and familiar with and feel comfortable. That was a long time ago.
If somebody hit me
Many
up and like,
years.
hey, what a dick
Many
at?
years ago.
It's gonna have to depend on who it is. Call it. If it's that one ex I'm talking about, you hit your boy up, and I wouldn't hit though. We'll have to have some conversations before I jump off in that pool.
Okay, so y'all kind of have some standards and some boundaries. It sounds like
that's something that only a mature man
so
does.
the dick discipline. I guess it just I guess you have to work at it. It is
it's a
skill or
consistent-
something.
It's a
definitely a
constant
skill.
developing thing because, like I said, I would imagine that people who are more well off so far as financially or celebrities have to exercise it a little bit more because they have more to lose. Whereas when you're just an average guy and you got opportunities, it's like, fuck it, I'll take them.
I feel like at this point
Or you rarely even get the offers.
I feel like women are more in a desperate state than men. I really
Why is that?
feel that. I mean, it just seems to me like there's more single women, and maybe this may not be the case. It just seems that way from what women are portraying.
Well, I would say one of the contributing factors to that, and I would probably agree with you, but I noticed that there's a statistic that shows that women who are more likely to graduate college or attend colleges tend to either divorce or not marry at all. This single ladies thing is really become a farce, because they're making a substantial amount of income that competes with men. They just don't see a reason to marry or be with somebody.
I thought women didn't get paid as much as men.
Well, that wage gap
Well,
shit has
it
been
just
debunked.
depends on if you start comparing and probably the field. I don't know.
Yeah, because think about, I noticed when they did when we were in school, right, and during the time we go and get our books and all that stuff, I noticed that there was a list that they had, and it was a long list of the different books that people were waiting for. All of the names that had women, and most of them were women, because most of the college attendees are women.
Substantially.
2 to 3 fields that I notice women are always in: social work, nursing, and cosmetology. Those are the 3 fields I noticed. If I looked and I saw welding, it would be like cosmetology, welding. Then they'll have like cosmetology, nursing, social. All those be women. Then you'll have carpentry, and then you have a bunch of the same 3 things. Then electrician or some shit like that. It's not that there's a wage gap. It's the things that women choose. That the fields that they're interested in are, they pay X amount, whereas the fields that men get into are usually a little bit more like you think about a carpenter, that's a wide array, like that's so many different things. You can do finished carpentry,
drywall,
you can
floors.
do rough carpentry. There's so much shit that you cabinet make. There's so much that you can literally make your own price. There's no or plumbing or anything like that. So, when it comes to women being single and all that, it's usually based on they're college educated and what they also expect from a man. If they're college educated, they usually want their man to be college educated. If they make X amount of dollars, they want their man to be equal to or greater than. So women have standards, and as they go up in the ladder, those standards usually aren't being met. They're being met by a few men. So,
Or at least be comfortable in, your woman's position, whatever that might be. Because a lot of the time, like you said, women sometimes do make more. I'm speaking in the Black community, I can't really speak on any other community, but I know a lot of the time, some of the men in my life, I'm making more money than them. And sometimes they feel some kind of way. A lot of the time they feel like, I know this is going to a different direction, but they feel like I don't need no help. Because no, I'm dead ass serious. You know, they see me
Look
and
at her handling all her shit.
yeah, you know, she handles all her shit. She don't need my help.
I think.
Hell, I need her help.
Yeah, I think that goes into. I think that also goes into. I don't want to say male ego, but what men are prone to do or have a proclivity to do, and that is to provide. And when a man is enabled to provide at the level in which his woman is, he feels emasculated.
And let's talk about that word provide because I think a lot of the time, a lot of people, what does your woman need you to provide? Because it's not always financial. For me, I don't necessarily need a man to financially help me. I mean, it's nice. Yeah, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. I love keeping my own money. Shout out to my man, like take care of me very well. But anyway, it's not that I need it, but I need you to provide other things. And there's other things that I need provided for me. You know, like an honest person. I like, trustworthiness. I mean, it's other things that you could provide for a woman other than finances.
That's true, but I think that's where the whole concept of tradition comes in. I think every man should be able to facilitate a woman, which means provide shelter. I think he should be able to make sure that the basic necessities are taken care of so far as shelter, food, water, electricity, transportation.
Right.
A man should cover those things, whereas because that old saying, a man's money is our money, but a woman's money is a woman's money. Mm-hmm. That way, her money, the money that she makes if she decides to work, it goes towards the things that facilitate the home.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the tradition.
So that's those are the things that we know work.
Right.
But yeah. So
So speaking on that, I know we're not gonna be here all night, but so would you say that dating for love or marrying for love or marrying for lifestyle?
Rosie flaming today, boy.
In my opinion, when I think, and this is something that my wife said to me when she was cursing me the fuck out. She goes, your first marriage, you usually marry for love. The second marriage, you usually marry for money. Now, here's something that I noticed about that. When you marry for love, it's real. You're actually interested in that person. And I see the effort that a woman who loves you puts towards the relationship versus if I was just, I guess, an average looking guy. I'm somebody that she wasn't attracted to or whatever. And I just provided money and stuff. She could probably grow to love me in the lifestyle.
Facts.
Because I'm providing everything. So women aren't really attached to a man's looks as much as she could be attached to what he provides, because I think that can reel them in too. But it's a lot of other things that fall into place if you're a man. Like if you're a lame ass dude, don't know how to talk, don't have no game, don't really know don't understand women, and you make money, then you end up like Bill Gates or some shit. Like
I was to say Ron Isley getting cheated on with R. Kelly.
Yeah, you get cheated on and shit like that. But if you're like a Chris Brown type nigga, like some good looking motherfucker who's talented and you and you got money and shit like that, like it's just it's different. He knows women. He knows how to. He just has a swagger. He has a swagger about him, so he won't get taken advantage of. So he covers all the bases. The only thing is that woman has to be very careful, because you got a motherfucker like Chris Brown. You think you gonna be the only motherfucker that wants him?
No.
So
I dated a celebrity before, and
what celebrity?
I'm not. Drop
that nigga.
No, buddy.
What that nigga?
We gotta start doing celebrity stories,
That's
bro.
a sensitive subject there, and I don't need his wife tracking me down.
I see you on your podcast, bitch.
What did he do? Don't say.
He played football.
Oh, okay, yeah, that could be any motherfucker.
Yeah.
was
He played football. That's trees of
That
niggas.
motherfucker left tackle.
I was thinking offensive defense.
Defense.
Yeah.
Oh, so he
But
tackled
anyway, it was a lot to that, and everything is not for everybody. That's for sure.
Yeah, I can see that. This is why I'm scared. Like I ain't gonna say scared, but I just want this money, but I ain't trying to be famous. Like I don't like all that attention from
It's
people.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's a
I
whole
don't
lot.
like that shit.
I don't know, man. I
want to be
I
known,
want
but I
that
want to be
money.
famous.
I do. I want that money.
listen.
But I want my
the
privacy.
money, but I'm gonna tell you something that I like too. I like being able to walk into a room and everybody got their eyes on me.
Oh my god, ew.
Yeah, I ain't talking about no gay shit.
I like that
I know
too.
what you mean.
I'm saying,
I like to blend in.
I like to be. Nah,
I know I don't blend in, but
I'm a short stature guy, but I got a commanding presence. Even I don't say too
Right,
much, but
right.
if I had a little bit of money and just moderate fame, like motherfuckers would just wonder. Because I'm not somebody when I go around crowds to say much, but you'll know. Yo, what is it about this little motherfucker here?
It's
Like,
the energy.
not just little motherfucker.
It's the energy.
Let me ask you this:
Some
do you
people got
think?
big energy.
Okay, because all of us have been growing over
Right.
the years. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We all talented, intelligent
I
people.
thought you were talking about height. I was like, you trying to be funny? Nigga?
We all been growing over the years except JC.
I stopped a long time ago
Yeah.
too. So
So what I was gonna say is, I mean, like, out of all the times you ever felt that you was not only capable of being successful, but do you think you're ready now for fame, mentally, spiritually? Do you think you're ready to deal with them fucking crowds of fans running up to you in the mall and shit, asking for pictures? I don't want that kind of shit happening to me.
On a consistent basis. No. Well, you know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't want that type of attention from niggas. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I noticed I saw a white dude pull up in a yellow Lamborghini one time, right? And black dudes they saw who got out, and it was almost like a level of respect that they had from like he's supposed to have that. He's white. But when you see a black dude in Atlanta pull up in the Lamborghini, the energy ain't the same. It's almost like, nigga, why you got that?
how did you get that?
Yeah,
What you doing?
We don't work in tandem with each other. Like we wonder, like, okay, nigga, what did you do to get that, nigga? Like, why you? It's not a damn, bro. Like, I'm the type of dude. I'm like, damn, bro. What do you do? Like, let me get how you. But we got that crab in a barrel kind of mentality where it's like, I'm gonna rob this nigga. Like when you think of like XXXTentacion and how he went out, right? He was buying a motorcycle, and them dudes was watching him the entire time. You can see it on the surveillance shit. They watching dude. He leaves in an i8 BMW, beautiful car, and instead of them going, yo, that's X, man, yo, being a fan and trying to understand. Trying to get some game. You are in the vicinity of a motherfucker who made it. Why not get some balls and ask, yo, bro, how did you do it? Like, did you know somebody? Like, instead of getting the game from a motherfucker, he was with label? Nobody's independent. For real. Okay. But instead of trying to get the game from a motherfucker, it's like when you black, they just go, nah, I'm just gonna take this nigga shit, and that shit ain't like I ain't. So yeah, I don't want nigga fame. I want white fame because white. Who was it? Said Chris Rock. I think he was the one who said, "You can make 100 black people laugh, but if you make one white man laugh, he'll make you rich."
Who said that shit?
I think it was Chris Rock said some shit like that.
What I really just want is the respect. Out of all things, I just want the respect. I mean, I respect myself. I don't need nobody else shit. But like, when we talk about like. We see how like Muhammad Ali moved through a crowd of people, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's like, yo, it's Ali. And it was just like all love. Like, wasn't nobody hating on bro except for the white folks, you know what I'm saying? And then the couple of coons.
I think they had more love for him than
Man, look at the picture of Muhammad in Africa with a whole tribe of niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people loved him. Like, I just want that love and respect from the people. I don't want that like Michael Jackson type. Oh my God! Like, I don't want that kind of
nigga, I
shit.
want that kind of love. When you pointed a
Look at
bitch and
him.
she.
She
Oh,
bang.
shit.
And throw them panties at you.
Yeah, yeah.
Hit you with her yeast infection.
They're like, bitch, this ain't. Is this yogurt in your pants? Oh, what the? Bitch got yogurt in her panties. Yogurt. Ew.
Yeah, how long we been going?
We only an hour and 5 minutes. Yeah.
For real, hour 5?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to slide, bro.
That's fine.
We gonna wrap it up here. You wanna wrap it up?
Slide.
If you,
Like
if you
Clyde.
need to slide, then it sound like we should.
All right, well, let's wrap it up, man. So, yo, that's been the show for today, RPG TV, with your boy, Bandikoot Reg, and Rosie. Y'all know what it is, man. Tune in next time. And until then, we
Take
out.
care of each other.
We out.
I give you big dick